That is really
and
good.
you see why I wanted to bite a cherry pie with this.
Okay. I'm feeling you on that. The maiden voyage of the cherry pie. So, I heard once in the swirling of the wine, it's similar to like aerating it. Is that a thing?
Well,
Is that
whenever you're taking wine and you're exposing it to,
no?
So you like that combination?
I'm enjoying this.
Mhm.
It's so amazing. Like, try not to talk with my mouth full, but that was incredible. And you can already see that my tasting is different than Colin's because, like, I'm getting into it.
and I'm one of those people, I can try a very small amount of wine
Mm-hmm.
and get a pretty good sense of whether I like it or don't like it.
What's in it and how, like,
Mm-hmm.
where it goes for you and all that stuff.
And so usually when you go to one of the wine tasting areas, they recommend that you probably not try to see more than a couple of wineries in a day.
Right. And at each winery, how many wines are you tasting? Are you trying to stick to the reds and just go through their reds, or you just taste everything?
I think that's up to the individual
Okay.
because I like tasting white wines as well.
Yeah.
And being a little bit of a collector, you're looking for some things to add in that might be unique. That I have the things I buy in the grocery store,
Mm-hmm.
and usually I'm in the $15 to $20 range when I'm doing that. If I'm going to pay more for a bottle of wine, I actually want to try the wine before I make a purchase.
Okay.
Which is, some people say, join the clubs because you get the discounts.
Right.
But oftentimes when you join the club, now they send you wines.
Right. And then you have
And you may or may not be the wines that you really would like.
right
So
jive
I'd
with
suggest,
your palate.
yeah, I'd suggest anyone that it can be enticing while you're there and enjoying a nice wine, join the club.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd say just be very careful because you may or may not get wines you really want. And sometimes if you're buying wines that you don't want, it might be better to pay full price
Then
or
have stuff
that-
sitting on the shelf that you're gonna just
kinda
give away to
you're
your
kinda
not so
about it.
friends.
Yeah.
Right. I love it. I
Yeah.
love it. Wonderful. Oh,
Yeah.
this-
Now that being said, there are a couple of clubs that my wife and I belong to.
okay.
But interestingly enough, when I went to pull away from one club, they said, "Look, we're going to make you kind of an alumni member,
Oh,
and we're going to
nice.
offer you the discounts for the wines that you choose, as long as you buy, a
X
few bottles
number,
a year."
yeah.
Yeah. Which I thought was brilliant marketing on their part.
So it pays to kind of, be there for a while.
It does.
Gotcha. Okay. I love going to Napa and to Paso and all those places.
Now, the other thing, if you find a wine and you're out tasting, a lot of us are conditioned in America not to barter,
Mm-hmm.
but I find it really helps if you ask the question, do you have a case discount?
Really? Okay.
So if you really
Good tip.
if you really like a wine, and worst thing they can do is be offended and say no.
Yeah. That's what I tell everybody. Worst thing that can happen is the word no.
But you'd be surprised every once in a while, they'll say, yeah, we'll give you a 15% discount if you'll buy a case.
Very nice.
So if you find a wine you really like, and it's a more expensive wine, you can always ask for a little bit of a discount if
Okay.
you'd like.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I like it. This is amazing. Do we want to move on to the next one? Do we finish this one? How
I
does
think
this?
we're going to push this one aside for
Okay.
just a moment.
We're gonna set this right over here. It's not gonna go anywhere. I'm gonna drink the rest of that.
Now
for
we're
sure.
doing this a little bit in backwards order because they
Okay.
usually suggest you taste wines from lower density to higher density. We're going to go with the higher density wines first.
Okay.
Because I didn't want to wait for the cherry pie.
Okay. This cherry pie from Pie and Burger is the best cherry pie next to my grandmother's. Okay, but this is the best cherry pie I've ever had. It's pretty amazing.
It's a really nice balance because there's a tartness in there as well
Yeah,
as
yeah.
they didn't overdo the sugar in there. So it's,
I'm not, when it comes to desserts and I guess wines, I'm not an overly sweet tooth person. I don't like a lot of sweetness, and this pie is not that sweet. It's
Yeah.
really good. It's really great. So,
now we're on to kind of our next story, and this is Gamba Vineyards,
okay.
Zinfandel. And the interesting story Gus Gamba and his wife Paulette are wonderful people. They're beautiful people. Great to meet and talk with. Just really good people. Gus's father immigrated from an area in Italy
Okay.
and found a vineyard that was not doing too well and bought a winery when he got to America, and then cultivated it and actually did very well, and had his son, and his son he brought into the business even early on in high school, but unfortunately Gus Sr. passed away when Gus Jr., who now owns the winery, was 17 years old.
Oh wow.
And
Okay.
he took over running the
At
winery
17.
At age 17.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Can you imagine being like, I remember when I was 17, I was just about to graduate high school and joining the Navy. That's another thing you and
Yeah.
I have in common is
Yeah.
we're both in the Navy. Helicopter pilot.
In the Marine Corps,
In the Marine Corps.
went to the Naval Academy.
Isn't that amazing?
So yeah,